More Parz, more scary Australian animals.
The Kraken is a real animal, just not the one you think it is.
I thought it's just a giant squid.
Who's that Pokemon?
You see,
No.
when people hear tales of the Kraken, they assume that a bunch of sailors in the oldie times got absolutely shit-faced and ran into a giant squid.
Yeah. No?
And to be fair, that's not a terrible assumption. Giant squid are f***ing kaiju-sized, coming in at 12 meters in length.
Look at that.
900 kilos in weight.
Whoa.
So the
So
assumption
heavy.
that they saw that shit and rightly assumed sea monster isn't too far-fetched. However, there is a rather large hole in that giant squid theory. They don't live anywhere near the surface. They live down.
Under
Way
Bikini
down.
Bottom.
Owning
Yeah.
real estate at a depth of 1,000 meters below sea level in the twilight zone. So
Yeah, but didn't like fishermen kind of fished out some of the giant squids, kraken? Didn't they call it the kraken? Oh. And I'm Malaysian. It's funny that all our squid, cuttlefish, and octopus are called sotong. I just want to say that.
if these sailors didn't see Squidward's roided out brother, how the f*** do you explain the books of corroborating tales of long, tentacle-like appendages sticking out of the sea? Well, the answer is whales. But, where is the tentacle on a whale?
Wait,
well,
what?
you see, during breeding season, blue whales reproduce by, conducting a locomotive on female whales.
No!
And in order to keep this train running on the tracks, male whales must wait their turn. And while waiting in the lobby, in order to stay prepared, the males tend to, raise their gentleman's sausage out of the water and wave it around in the air.
Really?
And the special sausage on a blue whale is around 3 meters long and 14 inches thick.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
sailors who thought they were seeing a mythical monster from the depths were more than likely just seeing a pot of whales hitting weapon inspect on their schmeat.
No!
Yep.
Like the big krakens in fantasy games, all well PPs? I refuse to believe it.
This frog deliberately breaks its own bones. But
Ow.
why? Well, you see, this is a hairy frog found on the west coast of Africa, and the reason it hits a brutality on itself, ironically enough, is self-defense. You see, these guys are small, coming in at an incredibly respectable 3 to 5 inches, and tipping the scales at only 150 grams, which is a problem, because they also inhabit the ecological equivalent of a fucking FromSoft game. Africa is one of the only
It's because of the hippos, the dangerous hippos.
places in the world that gives Australia a run for its money, with Mr. Frog here having to avoid birds, snakes, and rats on his walk to work. Now, in order to avoid
Poor
this scenario,
Theo.
most frogs either run a high-level stealth build or dress up like a fucking highlighter and cover themselves in everyone's favourite liquid. But
They're
the hairy
toxin.
frog has read one too many X-Men comics. Because this thing actually has another name. The fucking Wolverine frog.
What? Whoa!
Because these little guys
Nice
have
name.
claws, but not traditional claws like a cat's, which are made of keratin and freely extend and retract without an issue. No, instead, the finger bones on a hairy frog's hind legs are held in place by a small bone at the tip of their fingers. And when threatened, they snap the longer bone off the tip and through their f***ing skin. And then, new weapon acquired, they employ the London self-defense strategy.
Okay. With all the ribbits and stabbies. So imagine you're in Africa, just walking around and seeing the sights, maybe, hopefully. Nothing jumps on you, and suddenly you look at the ground and saw the frog with some other animal. Just going at it, Wolverine style. Holy.
This is one of the oldest creatures on the planet.
Who's that Pokemon?
Pokemon!
We got a boomer!
Introducing
It's I forgot the name. But it's this one here.
the horseshoe crab, found under the sea in the Atlantic, Indian and Pacific Oceans. And when I said old, I didn't mean individually. These little guys disconnect from the server at around age 40.
Only 40? Wait, is this the one that have blue blood that people take to make medicine? We technically vampires, you know. Time to say blah blah blah. Like, I know that people wanna do medical research, but it just doesn't sit well with me. But who am I to judge?
And as far as their actual lives go, they're kind of boring. They're bottom feeders with zero offensive capability, and the only reason they have a tail is that without it, they would die if you flipped them onto their backs. No, when I say old, I mean as a species, because these things are walking fossils that have been running the exact same basic-ass build, completely unchanged, for millions of years. How many millions? Well, here is a list of events that this little guy's family tree has lived through.
No!
The fall of
This poor little thing has lived so long, and its lifespan is only 40 years old. But the generation goes on and on.
Rome, the evolution of humankind.
Go back, I want to be monkey!
The Ice Age, God tossing a rock at the big-ass lizards.
Lizard.
Hell,
Lizard.
this little fucker watched the first fish crawl onto land and was underwater when the first tree spawned.
Whoa!
But I think the best way I can put this into perspective is that not unlike the way the Earth orbits the Sun orbits the Milky Way. Now, this process takes around 225 million years to complete. The horseshoe crab has done it twice!
Wow! Holy, wow. This animal is something that Asian parents really like. The generation survival. They can preserve their ancestors' bloodline for so long.
This plant explodes. But why? Well, you see, this is a squirting cucumber. Stop giggling. I see you laughing. Stop it. This is serious. These things are found worldwide, and to understand where this thing got its name, you need to understand how most plants spread their seeds. You see, most of the time, plants store their seeds in their fruit. Birds then swoop down, grab their food at the drive-thru, eat it, and fuck off. They then digest the flesh of the fruit, but shit out the seeds. Seeds hit the ground, get fertilized, and the cycle begins anew. But the squirter is poisonous.
Oh no.
Every single part of the plant is toxic, so if Tweety here eats it, he's gonna become a KFC family bucket. So if that's the case, how does it spread its seed? Well,
it shoots off.
Same way you do. You see, the cuke stores its seeds in the fruits as well, but the fruits are made up of very soft cells, and as they grow, they slowly fill with moisture. This moisture causes them to swell and inflate, increasing pressure on the inside of the fruit. That pressure builds.
Too much
the fruit
information.
Stretches until finally all that pressure is too much for the stem to bear.
Oh no!
And it pops out like the pin in a grenade. And with that opening, all those seeds and all that pressure finally has somewhere to go. So, in order to spread its seed far and wide, it busts.
It explodes, huh? It explodes.
This bird has to rearrange its organs and skeleton just to lay an egg.
This cute little guy is the kiwi bird, a species of ratite native to New Zealand this time, and the absolute poster child for getting cucked by evolution.
You see, this walking featherball is actually directly related to the emu, ostrich, and cassowary, being a member of the same family of flightless birds. However, there is a problem. You see, the rest of the Kiwis' bloodline actually looked up a build guide before picking their stat spread, and as such made sure to trade the whole flying thing for something useful.
With all of his cousins specking into speed, size, and some kind of offensive capability.
So that leaves the question, what did the Kiwi pick to make up for not flying? Absolutely f***ing nothing. Kiwis are tiny in comparison to their relatives, coming in at only 4 kilos in weight and 50 centimeters tall.
It's cute. Well, I guess it maxed out its cuteness.
Kiwis evolved largely on an island with no natural predators, so they downsized and traded out the knife feet and bloodlust for just being a little guy with a good attitude, which honestly worked pretty well for them until the British did British things, and now they have to deal with cats and dogs trying to eat them. And considering this build was not designed for PvP, they have been clapped so hard by invasive species that they are now unfortunately an endangered animal. But getting shafted by the British is just the beginning of the generational violation of the Kiwi, because these poor feathered fruits can't even reproduce without getting f***ed over. You see, the Kiwi bird's cousins are famous for laying huge eggs. I'm talking to hit your protein macros in 1 meal-sized eggs. And you would think that is because they are large. And you would be wrong. Because their vertically challenged cousins have to lay eggs the same size.
A Kiwi bird lays eggs 20% the size of their body. With the egg being so bloody large, it rearranges their internal organs and stretches their rib cage.
Like, why is it designed that way? God, please take a look at this. No, don't turn a blind eye. Look at this poor thing.
Just to be able to hold the thing. For reference, that is like a human giving birth to a 15-kilo child. That's not a bun in the oven anymore. That's a whole f***ing bakery.
Is this the seal that you guys keep on mentioning?
This seal is such a menace that he routinely gets the cops called on him.
The very
Introducing
famous
our
seal.
protagonist, Neil the Seal, a 600-kilo absolute unit of a southern elephant seal from my home state of Tasmania in the land down under, who is known for, above all else, being an absolute fucking menace to polite society. But despite his crimes, we all still truly love him. But what are his crimes? Well, see, he seems to just fucking hate traffic cones and road safety in general, has regularly been caught trespassing, and then once he has been caught trespassing, belligerently screaming at locals because they won't give him his fucking fish, and has been known to just block roads by plopping his fat ass down directly in the middle of them. However, hands down, the funniest shit he has ever done was just straight stopping this random lady from going to work.
Why?
I shit you not. This motherfucker crawled out of the ocean, up the beach, crossed the road, absolutely fucking bodied this woman's poor letterbox, and then proceeded to plant himself directly in front of her fucking car. She was then unable to go to work because this half-ton beefcake was camping her driveway for so damn long. Local news had time to drive out to her house and cover the fucking story.
This lady's so nice, she sacrificed her daily wage for that seal. It's an unpaid holiday trust. I wonder, will it bite if you, like, spray some water on it?
Story. Now, this is a lot of menace for a single seal to cause. But the funniest part of this is, old mate isn't even fully grown. He's like 5 years old.
No.
If you think he can f*** this up now, wait until he's nearly 2 solid-ass tons of blubber and takes issue with the wall of your house. I do not think that seal damage is covered on my f***ing insurance plan, dude. Wombats defend themselves by throwing it back. But to understand how the f*** they actually do it, you're going to need to learn a little bit about them first. You see, Australia is home to 3 species of these bad boys, all of them equally adorable, and very importantly, all being burrowers, meaning they dig out a nice little hole for themselves and the family to live in, because, like the rest of us, they can't afford a fucking house in this economy, man. They go to around 1.3 meters in length, but despite being small, they are built like fucking tanks. Weighing in at a chunky-ass 35 kilos, but despite their weight, I shit you not, they have a top speed of 40k an hour.
Why is it so fast?
Now, the fact that they can nearly get booked in a school zone, coupled with them being a tank-class marsupial, forms the start of their defense strategy. So you see, a fun fact about wombat anatomy is they spect all their defense points into their ass. Rather than having fat and muscle, a wombat's cheeks are made out of 4 thick plates of fused cartilage, making it extremely solid. And this Kevlar BBL allows for the funniest defense mechanism.
I wasn't expecting their butt cheeks to be the one that's the shield.
I have ever seen on an animal. Basically, if a predator tracks down Mr. Wombat to his burrow, it'll stick its head in and start trying to dig him out. In response, the wombat will line his ass up with the tunnel door, chuck the gear shifter into reverse, and floor it backwards up the tunnel into his aggressor, slamming his ass into its head. The impact then squashes the predator between his steel cheeks and the roof of the burrow. Straight up crushing its skull like a Mortal Kombat fatality. I cannot make this shit up.
I was like hee hee ha ha, but it's so deadly. Do not mess with the cheeks.
This bear was actually a soldier.
A real image? Really? How in the world did I tame it?
A soldier. But how? You see, it was 1942, and the 22nd Polish Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad lore, said,
Damn good deal.
and in the most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek. And the 22nd
Okay. The Pokemon is more important. I get it.
immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier.
Maggots!
As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as
Whoa,
well as feeding him on the
bottle.
cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker, who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would f***ing wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you? On top of double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They let the bear have smoko. Eventually,
Tell me, that's not real. How old is that bear? Is this underage drinking? How dare?
High Command heard about this and were having absolutely f***ing none of it. You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which meant Wojtek had to go. Or did he? Because the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted the rank of private, so when confronted
Sheesh.
about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek." Wojtek took his new role very seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bolt to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. They had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery, he was promoted to the rank of
No way, this is real.
corporal, and the 22nd changed their insignia to a bear carrying an artillery shell. This absolute unit smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis.
Oh, serious? No way, this is
Kangaroos
real.
can and will beat you up.
Ow.
That's right, just because it's not venomous doesn't mean it can't knock you on your ass. And Australia's most iconic marsupial can do just that. Because they are way bigger than you think they are. With our biggest species of roo coming in at a ridiculous 2.8 meters in length. And with the iconic hop, they've got a vertical jump of 3 meters. I mean, honestly, with a stat spread like that, they don't belong in the
Like they're that big. You know what? Maybe I can fit at the pocket. You'll never know, right?
Out back, they belong on a f***ing NBA court. As if that wasn't enough, they're also built like tanks, weighing in at a full 90 kilos of void-raging rabbit muscle, and being able to move way faster than anything that heavy has any right to, pegging the speedo at a max of 70k an hour. Meaning if you make them angry, a juiced-up rat the size of a small car is going to run your ass down and beat the f***ing brakes off you. And I'm not kidding when I say they really will rock your shit, because roos are professional kickboxers, with males routinely fighting MMA to win female attention. When they fight, kangaroos will lean back on their tails as a stabilizer.
Like, look at that muscle.
And
So scary.
immediately start scratching and kicking the ever-loving shit out of one another.
If I get punched or kicked by it, will I fly to the Arctics or the Antarctica? Never been there though.
Those kicks have enough force to crack bone. And as
Ow.
if getting drop-kicked by a muscled marsupial wasn't bad enough, they also for some reason have the same bite force as a grizzly bear. Because why not?
Why?
Now, because why not? Now, even
Because
with all
why
of this,
not?
there are still animals stupid enough to view a roo as lunch. Which brings me to the most terrifying thing that they do. When threatened, kangaroos will hop into a body of water and wait for whatever is chasing them to follow them in. Once the predator enters the water, the kangaroo will wrap its arms around their neck
Whoa.
and just straight up drown them. What
Whoa.
the man? I share a country with psychopathic tren rats. Oh! This bird can straight hit you with a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Finish him.
Introducing the
him.
cassowary, a species of ratite native to the land down under. And for once, guys, it's not venomous. Can
Oh,
still
yay.
flatline you though, and I'm going to tell you how. You see, these neon chickens belong to the same family of birds as the emu, and as such share their
Emu.
impressive size, coming in at a solid 79 kilos
And also the kiwi
and
before.
growing up to 6 feet tall, meaning the short kings in my audience could, in theory, mount these things like a chocobo.
Yay!
But what makes
Wait. I wanna do that. I wanna have a chocobo too.
But what makes them stick out from emus? Well, you see, the cassowary is basically a spec ops emu, being twice the weight, highly territorial, and most importantly, coming with a combat knife strapped to their foot. That's right, this is a cassowary claw, and it's the reason they can
Sheesh.
hit you with a fighting game finisher. You see, these claws are a full 5 inches long. And you know what I mean? Honestly, 5 inches, way too big for anything, and especially if you're something that's going inside me. And if you anger the tactical assault turkey, that is exactly what you're gonna get, as their go-to defense method is to kick you square in the gut with that kitchen knife and attempt to disembowel you.
Ow.
And I mean, even if the kick doesn't put your insides on the outsides, that kick is still going to send you flying, which can cause some fairly major problems. Problems like the incident that occurred in 2012, where I you not, a cassowary ran up behind a random tourist, hit the heavy attack button, and
Ow.
kicked the guy down a small cliff into the ocean.
Into the ocean.
I mean, luckily he survived, but the fact that I live in a country where at any point I could be hit with a sneak attack by a kaiju turkey is terrifying.
Wow, you guys really live in a hard mode PvP lobby. Or is it nightmare mode?
A gorilla can't beat 100 men in a fight. He gets
Poor
jumped.
gorilla.
But that
Gorilla.
begs the question, which animal does win? And the
hippo.
answer, stepping into the ring at 5 meters long and weighing in at a genuinely frightening 4,500 kilos.
So heavy.
I present to you the hippopotamus.
Pudding!
Yeah, look, a hippo causing a 100 long line at the gates of heaven after a fight is honestly pretty plausible. You see, despite the fantastic PR work
Pudding.
MuuRain has done for the hippopotamus community, doesn't change the fact that Moto here is a sentient Ford F-150, the temperament of a fucking serial killer who can win this fight for one very specific reason. You can't fucking hurt it. You say the hippopotamus is possibly the tankiest land animal on
Wow,
the
and it-
fucking planet, packing a
and it runs so fast. I wonder how it does if you run in zigzags.
unbelievably thick 2-inch height. Now look, we all know 2 inches is a lot, especially in the sheets, but in the streets of the African savannah, this makes them practically Don't believe me? Here is a hippopotamus walking away from 10 lions trying to convert it into a family meal. Notice how the hippopotamus does not give a single
It's just nomming on its butt.
If Mufasa and his extended family can't hurt it, neither can you. However, don't let the fact that it's walking away fool you here. The hippopotamus is not a peaceful animal. They are, in fact, violent, psychopathic, 4.5-ton thundercats that can and will bite you in half.
No,
A hippo's jaw
thing.
produces 2,000 psi of pure crushing force. So if he catches your ass, you are the watermelon.
And as if the hydraulic press wasn't bad enough, don't forget they've got 2 20-inch fangs in that mouth that'll put a hole in you big enough to stick your arm through. But honestly, the bite doesn't even matter. It weighs 4.5 tons and can run at 30k an hour.
Wow. Wow.
Getting hit by a charging hippo is like getting hit by a bus. There is no way we are winning a fight against something that could probably take out 10 people just by rolling over. In
Gotta get
summary,
flat.
don't with the hungry hippo.
The poor little crocodile. But really, they say that hippos can kill an estimate of 500 people in a year. That's more than any other animals, right?